Welcome and thank you for registering and joining our live webinar today. It's nice to see so much interest on this topic and lovely to see some of our existing clients and partners register for this webinar. Also future new clients. For those here not already using MacroView, our MacroView DMS solution integrates with Microsoft Outlook. And if you are using DMS Professional, this solution integrates with the full Microsoft Office suite, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and Adobe. Before we get started, let me introduce myself. My name is Elaine Delgarno, and I am the Client Success Manager at MacroView. I have been with MacroView for 5.5 years and have 30+ years experience in IT, working in the UK and Australia with many clients worldwide on implementations, training, support, and providing organisations with software demos. Joining me today is Samir, our Sales and Marketing Manager, who joined MacroView last year and will be looking out for your questions at the end of this session. Please remain muted, and if you have any questions relating to the items covered today, please raise them in the chat panel, and we will address these in a question and answer session at the end of this presentation. Back in February, MacroView attended a digital workplace conference in Christchurch, and for our Australian attendees today, the next digital workplace conference is being held at the Sofitel Sydney Wentworth on the 31st of July and the 1st of August. MacroView has a vendor booth, and we are one of about 12 vendors who will be there. If you're interested in attending this conference, we have some complimentary tickets available, so please reach out to Sam or myself. So, we all know how impractical it is to leave emails in our inbox or to create private folders in Outlook, which none of your colleagues have access to. Sharing emails is much more productive, and today I will show you how to boost your productivity with filing emails to SharePoint using MacroView DMS. In my last webinar in February, I showed how easy it is to filter and find emails using our powerful searching functionality. But if the emails are not in SharePoint to begin with, searching is not possible. So what can you expect to get from this session today? The session will take approximately 45 minutes in total, and that's allowing for questions and answers at the end of this presentation relating to the topics I cover. So we're going to look at some methods to save emails using MacroView DMS, saving emails to SharePoint using MacroView DMS. Then I'm going to look at how to automatically save emails to SharePoint, and that's using our MacroView managed filing solution. I will look briefly at the configuration for MacroView managed filing, and I will also look at working with additional mailboxes. After I have covered this, I will open the questions to you, and I do hope I provide the answers. And then we'll look at where to find more information. So let's get started. As this webinar is about email filing, I'm sitting in Microsoft Outlook. And the first thing that I would like to point out to you is in my Outlook, I can see the MacroView tree. The MacroView tree will show you everything that you have got security access to see in SharePoint. I'm using SharePoint hubs to neatly organize my sites. I'm going to work out of this hub during my presentation today. And What I'm now going to do is show there are many ways to save emails. So what I will start with today is showing some of the methods which I refer to as the manual saving of emails. And this functionality is included in MacroView DMS. And I will now show that. I will work initially out of this SharePoint site and a library that I've called MacroView. I've simply created an emails folder. The first method I will use for saving emails to this SharePoint folder is drag and drop. I will take this email and drag and drop it to the right panel, which is the MacroView tree, showing everything I have got access to in SharePoint. And when I release the mouse, the email has been uploaded to SharePoint, and a little indicator in the category column shows me that this email has been yellow category saved to SharePoint. It also gives me the full URL path of where that email has been saved. It also adds it to the header of the email, which I'm previewing, and I can see the full URL path of where that email has been saved. That's method number one. If I just repeat that with perhaps a couple of emails this time, drag and drop them to the same folder. If I had I've selected 2 emails, could have been 20, could have been 200. The process will work in the background. I can carry on working in Outlook while those emails are being uploaded to SharePoint. I could create a new email, could reply to an existing email. So now I can see very clearly that these 3 emails have been saved to SharePoint, and that was via the drag and drop method. If I select another email, another method to save emails is from the home ribbon, we place the MacroView group of buttons. And from this MacroView group of buttons, we've got Save Message. And when I click on that button, it gives me the Save to SharePoint dialog box. It will remember the last area that you were working in. For me, that was search. I'm just going to go back to browse, and I'm going to expand the library that I was saving, and I'm just going to save it into this email folder again. I will just click the save button, and when that is uploaded to SharePoint, it will also, and it doesn't allow me to finish my sentence, but it's so fast, there is the yellow category to tell me that it's been saved to SharePoint. Another manual method is to right-click on an email. The last option is save the message to SharePoint. This will also bring up the Save to SharePoint dialog box, remembering the last location that I saved the email to, and I'll choose Save. And that one will also very quickly be uploaded to SharePoint. Yellow category, Save to SharePoint. So that is the manual methods of saving emails. If I now select my emails folder, when I click on this folder, the inbox pane of Outlook will be replaced with the contents of the SharePoint emails folder. And there are a few things that I want to draw your attention to here. The first thing is when I select an email, I can preview that email in exactly the same way as I do from my inbox. I can also open the email by double click or press enter, and I've got the message ribbon with all the familiar buttons, and I've got the shortcuts to reply and forward here. So I can literally go through each email, preview it to find out if it is the email that I want to open, reply to, etc. I can also I also want to point out the view that I am looking at. So the view that I've got here is the emails view. And the emails view is showing in the type column that this is an Outlook email. It's also showing a paperclip for this email because there is an attachment. It's also showing the subject, the to, the from, the received time. And the name given to each email is out of the box email filing format is the person who sent the email, their name, the date and time of the email. And the time is really important here. It's hours, minutes, and seconds. And this is what prevents email duplication in the same SharePoint location. So for me, that's the emails folder. So if someone else tried to save the same email, it wouldn't duplicate, which is what you want. You don't want to have duplicate emails saved to your SharePoint folders. That's the view. I will talk a little bit more about the views in just a moment. The next thing I want to do is look at the properties of an email. So if I choose this one, it's got an attachment. When I right click, the last option is properties. And here is my email content type, which has got nothing prompt time, which is really ideal because you want to mirror the experience of saving an email to the left, to an Outlook folder, as I have done to the right. If I now choose my details tab at the top, the columns here, the SharePoint columns here, they're listed alphabetically. So the first one I want to point out is my attachment count. You can very clearly see that there's one attachment. Does it have attachments? Yes. Who is the email from? Who was it to? What's the subject? What's the received time? So this is all the email metadata that has been stripped out of the email when it was uploaded to SharePoint and placed into these SharePoint columns. And I will again talk a little bit more, as well as the views. I want to talk about the email metadata columns here. Then we've got system, just draw a line there, and we've got everything that's system generated. So when you look at an email, the received time is really important, as is the date that the email was saved. So I created this email today, Wednesday the 26th, but the email date was actually back in February. And then I can also see who created the email. So when I mentioned the no duplication of emails will happen, the person who first saves the email will get the yellow box, and they will be the person who's created that email there, created by and the created date. So that's how you can look at the properties of an email. I now want to look at, we'll talk a little bit about the MacroView provisioning tool. We offer the provisioning tool with every solution that is purchased. And the provisioning tool allows you to create a site with all the appropriate metadata columns, and you can see the email ones here. It also allows you to create a library with the appropriate view. So when I click on this down arrow, these are my library views. And by default, the view that SharePoint provides is all documents. And all documents is really not very meaningful when you're looking at emails, because I can see that the email was up. These emails were uploaded today and I uploaded them, but without the received time, I can't see the received time of the email, which is why our emails view is mirroring the inbox. So if I go back to my emails view, this one is mirroring the inbox, as I've just said. And a little bit more about the provisioning. I have a vanilla site here that has not been provisioned by MacroView. I'm sorry, I just had to mute to cough. I will now expand this MacroView library and click on the folder called emails. So here, I've only got one view because this site and also the library both have not been provisioned with the MacroView tool, which is adding the email metadata columns. It's also adding the email content type. So if I go back to an email and look at the properties, I've got the email content type. If I compare that to an email here, we'll see that there is no email content type present in my site, my SharePoint site. So therefore the content type is document. So there are no email metadata properties there. It's all system information. If you want to find out more about the provisioning tool, we will be more than happy to provide information and to assist you. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open my library in SharePoint and just have a look at that. So the easier way to open a folder, a library, a site is to right click and choose open in the browser. When I open in the browser, I can see my emails folder and I can see the emails that I saved. The default view in SharePoint is all documents, but I have already shown that this area has been provisioned by the MacroView provisioning tool, and I have a view called emails. I can see the email where I've got an attachment. So when I open that email in SharePoint, a few things I want to point out, things that I can't do. I can't reply to this email because I'm not in Outlook, I'm in SharePoint, I'm in the browser. I also can't access my attachment. I need to download that attachment if I wanted to see that. But if I just close that, go back to Outlook and select the emails folder, I can see the attachment here and I can open the attachment. When I move my mouse onto the name of the attachment, I get a little hand, and we all know that that's going to open up this PDF. I also might just point out here that if I wanted to save this attachment, I get the mouse pointer. So it's mouse pointer or mouse hand. If I wanted to save the attachment, I can just drag and drop it into the document library there. And guess what? I have already done that before, so it's coming up as a new version. So I'll just say that's V2 and place that in there. So that is, really comparing two areas here, one completely vanilla SharePoint site and one that was created using the provisioning tool to add the email columns and content types and then to a library, the view. But the provisioning tool I'd like to add will also allow you to provision an existing area. If you're already using SharePoint and you choose to use MacroView, you can provision your existing areas. I'm now done with this site and I'm going to look at a couple other sites I've got here in my demo area. I'm going to expand my legal and I'm going to expand my projects. And I now want to show automatic email filing. So let's consider the SharePoint design first. If you have a SharePoint design which uses unique codes, for example, you use numbers as part of the folder or the document set description for your clients, matters, projects, insurance claims, sales orders, property IDs, bid or job numbers, etc. The list goes on. You have a design suitable for automatic email filing. And for that, we offer MacroView managed filing, where these unique codes can be used as the email tag, which I will show you in a minute. So I expanded my legal site to show that I've got unique numbers on my document sets. Doesn't need to be document sets, it can be folders. I'm just capturing metadata, so that's why I'm using document sets. Unique numbers here, and also in my projects area, here are my project numbers. So let me show you how automatic email filing works. So I am going to send Sam an email. Before I send the email, I want to place an email tag into the subject of the email. On the new message, in the new message window, the message ribbon, I have got the MacroView group of buttons. And here there are 6 buttons. And when you are licensed for managed filing, the insert tag button will be available to you. When I click on this, the first thing I want to show is this is the recently used list. And before my presentation, because I had been doing some client testing, I actually cleared out my recently used list. So I only have 3. The most you will see here are 10. When you get to your 11th, the last one will drop off, and these are in the order of, this is the last one I used, most recently used one. But I'm going to show you how to search for a location to save to. And from my browse area, I will open up my legal solution. And I will choose this one here. So my matter number is 1042. And I will choose the email folder. Up until now, the OK button is not available. The OK button will only become available when you choose an area which the rule recognizes is an area to save into. So as soon as I select the email folder, 2 things happen. OK button becomes available, and my tag is inserted at the top of this small dialog box. And when I choose OK, the tag will be inserted into my subject. And I'd like to talk a little bit about this tag. The first part of my tag is hard-coded. So what I mean by this is my MacroView legal solution. And I have chosen to save my first email into the site here, which is client AMP. And if you look at the end of the URL, you can see 1003, which is the next part of my tag. Then when I hover over my library, the ending number is 1006, which is the next part of my tag. And then I chose my matter 1042, which is the last part. This is hugely customizable and something that MacroView can assist with. I will now send that email and jump across to my sent items, and hand and my, so put my teeth back in, mouse, hands are off the mouse and the keyboard. And I just want to draw your attention to the category column. The category column is now showing a slightly different shade, more of an orange. label, and it does say save to SharePoint using managed filing. Again, the full URL path is there. When I select the email, it's also placing into the header of the email, and there's the full URL path. I saved it to 1042. The email that I have sent to Sam, I know that it's been saved into this folder here. So I'm going to select the email folder, and the email that I sent to Sam is here. And as I've been talking, I can see in my inbox that Sam has replied already. Thank you very much. And it's been uploaded to SharePoint, and I can read the email from the email SharePoint folder, select here, and I can see the reply to that email. And when I select my inbox, select the email, I can see the same reply there. I'd like to talk about the difference between yellow, saved to SharePoint. These were saved manually, 3 different ways, and I have saved this email automatically using managed filing. If you use the manual method to save emails to SharePoint, only the person saving the email will see the yellow box. If Sam had sent this email to some of our colleagues here at MacroView, that's exactly how they would see the email in their inbox. They would see that the email has been given a little orange category, and it's saying saved to SharePoint by managed filing. And if I know that I don't need to, if I someone else that's received this email and I know I don't need to respond to Sam, I could quite confidently delete that email out of my inbox, because I know that I'm going to find it in SharePoint if I do need to. I am, from my other screen, just going to send another email to my inbox. And while I wait for that email to come into my inbox, I will, yeah, that should come in. I'm going to talk about some of the other buttons that I've got on my MacroView group of buttons, which is on the home ribbon. So an email is going to pop into my inbox anytime soon. The managed filing rule will process that. See how this email has got a slightly different tag on it, which is, I've hard coded this one to be MacroView projects. And what I'm going to do this time is use the button show tag. And show tag gives me 2 options. I can choose to show the location or open the location. And I deliberately don't have this location opened in my tree structure. So what I'd like you to watch is when I click this button here, it will open in my tree. So I'm going to open the location. It opens the project 1012, and it selects the email folder, and it shows my email that has just literally been sent and automatically saved. So that's quite a useful button to show the location or open the location. So by including this additional module to your MacroView DMS, emails sent and received will be automatically uploaded to SharePoint. It is an affordable additional license with high return on investment. Now I am going to go through a little bit of troubleshooting when an email isn't saved correctly using managed filing. So I'm going to create a new email. And tag it. So again, from my message ribbon, MacroView group of buttons, choose insert tag. And I'm going to, it's not one of my existing tags I want to use. See how now I've got 4. When I started this, I had 3. I'm building up my list of 10. Choose search, and from my projects, I'm going to choose the library projects and 1, 2, 3, 4 email and choose OK. I'll just send that as it is. Jump over to my sent items. That email has arrived, and this time we see a different color category, a blue one, and it says not auto-filed by managed filing. So we're seeing a very colorful rainbow here of the 3 different colors that we use. And I'm going to now take you to a support article, which will be this one here. And if you want information on this after the session, yeah, please reach out and we can send these tech notes. So the first set here will apply to emails that are saved using the DMS functionality. So that was how I first started saving emails. I used the manual methods, drag and drop, right click, save message from the ribbon, which is what the article is saying. Then I've got this one just now, which is not auto-filed by managed filing. And we have seen the successful one. So this is unsuccessful versus successful. And the other tech note here from our knowledge base is showing how this can be resolved. But before I resolve it, I'm actually going to show you why it is an issue. So I'm going to expand my 1, 2, 3. Where is it? My Acme project 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'll just from my inbox drag another test email and drag and drop it into the email folder of 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is what I wanted to show you. The last time I did drag and drop, there were no questions asked, no prompts in my email content type, but this time I have deliberately added a column which is called action by, and it's looking for an entry there. So that is what was that was what was preventing my email from being automatically saved. And I'll just cancel because I don't want to save that email. And I'm now going to, from the instruction on the tech note, back to this one here, it is saying that I just need to go to the options area within MacroView and choose Office. And then I'm going to look at this option here. So from the MacroView ribbon in Outlook, choose Options, and I'm going to go to Office. And when saving an email, changing that to be only required properties. Apply the change, choose OK. And now to go back to the email that was unsuccessful. To introduce another useful button from the Home ribbon, the MacroView group of buttons, I'm on my sent items, So the button reads Run Sent Rules. So when I click on that, it will rerun the rule and successfully upload that email, which first failed, has now successfully been saved to SharePoint by managed filing. And if I choose the show tag, there's the tag, open the location, and it has selected the project, selected the email folder, opened the folder, shows the contents, and that was the email that first didn't save but has now. So that's a little bit of troubleshooting when the email isn't saved by managed filing and you get the blue tag. Now to look at how you can send an email, but you want it saved to multiple locations. So new email. And while I do this, I'm going to kill 3 birds with one stone. I'm going to show different methods of inserting a tag. The first time I did it earlier, I went insert tag search. But now that I'm building up my list here, I can always choose to use one that I've previously used before. So I'll choose 1048. I want to insert another tag. So from the MacroView grouper button again, choose insert tag. And this time I will choose search and move to my favorites tab, because in here, actually that's 1048, so let me choose a project one instead. I will choose this one here. And this message here is just because it detects there is already an email tag present. I always prefer to use this button because it's bigger and this one's a little bit precise to untick. So if I choose that button, choose OK, my 48 is not removed and my 1012 is added. One more, MacroView insert tag, search. From the browser, I can do a search. So if I go to my legal solution, and in here, I want to search for the surname White, and that has got 3 matches. None of these I've already tagged, so I'll choose 29, choose the email folder, and that will tag 29 at the top. OK button is available. Again, I get the, hey, there's already 2 tags there, deselect all, choose OK, and 3 tags are added. And I'll send that email. Jump to my sent items. The rule is processed successfully. Uploads the email 3 times. So let's look at that. If I do show tag and 29 is one that I haven't opened, don't have open. So let's choose that one, open location. So the little filter appears on my document set in the tree. It's opened up the email folder and there is the email. And I entered in 3 tags. Do that one more location, show tag, and 12. I don't think I've opened up 12, 10, 12. Open the location, and there's my 3 tags. So that is inserting multiple tags to save an email to multiple locations. Next is working from another mailbox. So here I have user 1 at MacroView, and I will select the inbox. And I will create a new email. And this time I'll send the email to Sam. And I'm going to tag this email with, let's just, for quickness, use one I've used earlier. I'll do my 10, 12, and send. Then I will move to my sent items, and I can see the email. I can also see all of my testing. I can see the email that I've sent to Sam. My hands are off the mouse and the keyboard, and I'm watching the categories column. And I'm waiting, and I'm watching, and I'll let you into a secret. That email is not going to save because there is something that I need to do first. If I go to the MacroView ribbon and look at monitored mailboxes, let me just make that a little bit bigger. Here is my user 1, and I don't have inbox or sent items selected. So I wasn't monitoring that mailbox, hence the email wasn't automatically saved. I've made the necessary changes. I click save, and I'm just going to close my Outlook for that to do its thing. And now I have relaunched Outlook. That's giving Sam plenty time to reply to the email, which, thank you, I can see you have. So when I click on my inbox, I can see the email, and it hasn't been processed. So now I am just going to run my received rules. And when I do that, the email rule will process and upload that email automatically to SharePoint. If I now look at the email I sent Sam, notice from the home ribbon, from the MacroView group of buttons, it now reads Run Sent Rules. So that's working with other mailboxes, and we call it the monitored mailboxes. So you just need to have those selected for it to work. To do a little bit of housekeeping, I know immediately that all of these emails have been sent to SharePoint, have been saved to SharePoint. So I know that I can confidently select them, delete them. If I look at my inbox, I could do the same here. It's really handy having the category column, because what I can do is sort by the category column. I know that all of these emails have been saved, so I can just select them all and delete. I might not do that in case there's something else I want to tell you later, but you could do that at the end of the day, end of the week. It really depends on your housekeeping practice. Last but not least, we're going to look at configuring managed filing. So from the MacroView ribbon, I'm going to look at managed rules. The managed tab is where you select the configuration file that is used to run the automatic email filing. So the code used in the configuration file is called regular expression, referred to as regex, and it's highly configurable, but I'm not going to get technical in this session today. If you're interested in learning more, please reach out and we can send you a link to a previous webinar recorded last year. But MacroView will assist with creating the rules, I've got two, to work in your SharePoint environment. So this is something that your administrator would typically set up for you. If I just move to the end of that, you can see that I'm using an XML file for my configuration file. So just a little bit of a recap. Let me go back to my PowerPoint presentation. So today I've shown how easy it is to save emails to SharePoint using MacroView, the manual method and automatically saving emails using managed filing. And back in February, I did a webinar on searching for emails in SharePoint using MacroView. If you are interested in receiving the recording of this live webinar, please reach out and we'll provide you with a link to the recording. Also, if you're interested in evaluating managed filing, please contact myself or Sam and we will be happy to assist you. So today we looked at the 3 different methods to manually save emails: drag and drop, shortcut menu, ribbon. Then we examined the email metadata, all created using the MacroView provisioning tool, also creates the views in the libraries. We looked at previewing an email, opening an email, replying to an email, which is all the functionality that you see in your inbox, all available using MacroView when you are viewing a SharePoint folder. Then I moved to the automatic email filing, an additional add-on to your DMS solution called MacroView Managed Filing, how to insert a tag, show and open the location, a little bit of troubleshooting when your email doesn't save. Look at how you can use your shared mailboxes and where the managed filing is actually set up. Here is a small selection of our MacroView clients in both Australia and New Zealand. And that makes a very colourful picture. Thank you for your beautiful company icons, logos rather. So now I am happy to address any questions that you may have. On my other screen, I'm just going to bring up my Teams. And if there are any questions, I'm just going to look at chat. Good question. Can this connect to SharePoint on-premise as well? So with yes, it does. Managed filing will work with SharePoint on-premise as well. Thank you, Alex, for your question. I will unmute anyone who has a question. I welcome any questions on email filing. No question is. Oh, thanks. More questions come in the chat now. Okay. I have both the unsuccessful blue and successful orange category for managed filing. How do I fix this? After this call, I'll actually send you a tech note in our knowledge base on troubleshooting. And if that doesn't help, I will be happy to have a call to look because it can. I just looked at one method, which was my email content type has prompts, and that gives a blue non-filed category. There are a few other reasons that can cause that, and we do have a an article in our knowledge base. So Jared, I can send that to you. Emma, is it possible to change the default email file name format for all emails, or can it only be changed per email? That is a question that I'll take offline and come back to you on, rather than showing on this webinar today. But that's your question, Emma. Jared, I'm unable to double click and reply to an email. Can I fix this? Oh, I've never seen that. What happens when you return? Like, just return to open an email. That is very, very unusual. Double click doesn't work. If you are an existing client, Jared, I have to come back to that one too. James, hi James. Can you create additional views with subsets of, say, emails with attachments from a particular user? I will come back to you on that question as well. That would be customizing the out of the box emails view. However, I'm just going to go back to that one. The questions are coming in. Where are you? Attached by a particular user. Attachments from a particular user. That would be more of a search rather than a view. So if I jump back to Outlook and look at search, if I look at, I want to find all emails that have been sent to me with attachments. Now I'm going to find a lot because this is my demo tenant and I'm the one saving. There is somebody different there. Let me do Cook, and I'm going to show searching with the asterisk character. I don't know if the surname is with or without the E, and oh, it might have been from, my mistake. Let's do search. And that has found the one email with an attachment from that particular person. So I would recommend searching. I can also, James, come back to you on saved searches. I can also send you the link to the search webinar I did back in February, which shows how to do saved searches. I would, yeah, searches rather than changing the view on that one. Alex, again, our current solution allows solution profiles that let you create a custom or virtual structure for complex SharePoint environments. Can this be customized with MacroView? Alex, come back to you offline on that one as well. Jared, again, users in our company have reported that with MacroView, their Outlook is slow. Is their best practices for setting up MacroView to speed up the whole system? I will ask support to reach out to you on that one, Jared. And my last question that I'll take is from Emma again. We have the same question regarding the slow Outlook. All right, I will get support to reach out to you on that, if that's okay with you. Thanks very much for all of your questions. And I would, from the bottom of my heart, thank you all for attending my live